Hey, how's it going guys? I am Callum and I kind of want to talk about just living in your semester location abroad and what that is kind of like, at least if you're going to be living in maybe like a student accommodation. So for me, as you can kind of see, like the room that I have is quite big and the price monthly was quite cheap. Since I wasn't staying for a long period of time, like a whole entire year, they actually added on additional payments to my monthly rent. Which kind of makes sense because usually the kind of rent period is 8 months or a whole year, whereas I'm only staying for 5 months, so it just made sense. My rent started off at 180 euros, which is like insanely cheap, especially for a room this big, and you're not paying for the electricity, you're not paying for the water, you're not paying for anything else, so the internet even, you're not paying for that. So 180 is like a steal. Back home I'm paying 350, so yeah, it's really good pricing wise. So I really recommend in general that you just get student accommodation. It's just the best for your price, especially as a student. Like, you don't really want to be spending a lot of money. But what I would say as well, living in a student accommodation may not be what you expect. You may not get the best flatmates in the world and you may not get the worst flatmates in the world. It's good to go into your student accommodation open-minded. For me, for the most part, like my flatmates are nice. Most of them I'm just like civil with. There's at least like a couple that I'll chat to, like actually be able to have conversations with. The vast majority of them aren't like people who I would go on like a night out with or like make plans with. Like, it's just not that. That doesn't really happen. And that's not to say that the student accommodation that you're going to be in is going to be the exact same as mine. Like, everyone's semester abroad or year abroad is different. You're going to get different people, you're going to meet totally different people. So you could get the best roommates in the world and they're like your family when you're away, but as well, just try and be open-minded and don't just expect that, because like I said, for me, it's also quite good that it's not like your family away from home, because you're able to have your own kind of time. Like, when you finish your uni and you come home, you're not like bombarded with people that want to talk to you or want to interact. Like, you're able to just come home and sit and chill and watch Netflix or just do whatever. So in that way, like, that's another way to kind of look at your accommodation. Just think of it as your chill time, because as well, there'll be times where you aren't actually in your accommodation a lot. You might be, for the most part, and during your semester abroad, not even in your flat. So think about it that way too. As well, if you haven't lived with people before, like I have lived in flats with people, and it's to be expected that your kitchen and the eating kind of area is not going to be clean 100% of the time. And if you're a person that's really used to that, maybe you're used to just staying at home all the time, try and expect the worst in those scenarios, because you're not, it's silly to think that you're going to walk into the kitchen of a student accommodation and it's going to be spotless 24/7 like your home, where like your mum and dad maybe clean up a bit more. So yeah, try and think about that, and as well, clean up after yourself when you're in your kitchen area, because once one person gets a little bit more kind of like, oh, I'll just leave that mess, I'll clean it up later, and they usually don't, then more people will start doing that. It's like, oh well, they didn't clean up their stuff, so I'm not going to clean up mine, and then it kind of piles up and it just gets worse and worse as time goes on. So yeah, just try and clean up after yourself. As well, with the fridge situation, the best kind of advice I could give is try and break down the fridge or fridges into sections so that you can have your own section that's yours. So for my student accommodation, we have 2 fridges, 2 freezers. At least for the fridge section, what I done was broke down each kind of shelf into their own person's, like every person has a shelf. And the way that kind of works out so well is, you know that stuff's yours and no one's going to touch your stuff and everyone has their own place. So yeah, so the fact that it's just less stressful, you don't really want to, when you want to make food, you just want to go and do it. You don't want to think or anything like that. So it's just easier, the best way to do it, split it up, simple. As far as bathroom goes, if you know you're sharing a bathroom with someone else, it's kind of the same as the kitchen, just make sure it's clean but don't expect it to be spotless 24/7. Just take your turn doing things like cleaning or taking out the bins or doing things like that. It's just like a nice thing to do. Manners don't cost much, just do it. Like it may be not what you're used to back home, but it'll just show that you are like, you're mature and you want to help out, and you're just showing that you're a nice person in general. So try and put the effort in, and the effort may be returned, but don't be disappointed if it doesn't get returned. Some people are like that. They're just so used to being at home and their parents do everything for them. So just go in with an open mind, try and just do the best you can, and you should have a nice living experience in general. Yeah, that's all I can really say about the living situation. There's not really much else I could really touch on that was a big kind of flaw, but earlier on when my semester kind of started, I had a pot stolen. That was actually a dirty pot. I'd used it and left it on the side, and it got stolen, as well as a spatula. So maybe one real tip of advice is, when you cook your food, I would say put your food and your plate into like the microwave or somewhere just to chill, or the oven to chill. Not to like cool down, but just to put it somewhere while you clean up your stuff. Like, don't just cook and then go into your room and then eat your food, because that's what happened to me. I cooked, left my stuff on the side, went back into my room, and then when I finished my food I went back and then my pot was missing. So I would advise, just clean your stuff once you use it, put it away, lock it away, or even just put your dirty stuff in your room. That's what I've done. It's really, at least you just know it's there. Like, I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't see it. There's a pot behind the bed there. But yeah, just do that. But yeah, I don't want to really say that to scare you. Like, people are people. You never know who you're going to get put with, the best or the worst. But just try and see the silver lining in everything. You're paying cheap for rent. It's a good place. At least the rooms are big if you're living in an accommodation kind of like this. And yeah, it'll be a good time. Just enjoy it. And that's all I can really say about the living situation. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.